Greetings. Here we are again. Once again at Black Facts Central. We're coming at you live and direct with the story of the day. Now, we started off this week. We thought we were going to be doing Esteban yesterday. We ended up doing like a brief survey of the early history of the nation of the United States, okay, as regards to Black folks and our participation in everything that was going on to found this country. But today, we are actually going to focus on Esteban. So we're going to get down with some Esteban. Meanwhile, though, let's do our proverb real quick. You do not teach the paths of the forest to an old gorilla. And that is a Congolese proverb. You do not teach the paths of the forest to an old gorilla. Poem today. I couldn't find the one I really wanted. I had one I was looking for, but for some reason wasn't in either one of the two books that I had by Gil Scott, which actually was a surprise. So I had to go with an alternate, which I think will be just as insightful, because this one talks about the European discoverers, the so-called discoverers of wherever they went, they discovered. So let's talk about that. King Henry IV. King Henry IV. The king is alive and 20 million strong, and long before he ever ascended to the throne, he was made fun of, a source of great humor. His domination over neighborhoods was nothing but a rumor. Back when the king's name was so rarely spoke, and the 10 million disciples mentioned by some folks was called exaggerated and treated like a joke. They didn't understand that the monster had woke, but the king could instantly demonstrate that he wasn't no laughing matter. Blow folks away so quickly, it would demonstrate nobody and nothing does it better. Now we're talking about total finesse. That's when you know you're dealing with the best. There ain't even been one whisper of force over the entire kingdom of Henry IV. The awful thing about it is there ain't nothing you can do. Guard all your doors and windows and the king can still rob you. Oh no, ain't talking about the 60s, not that fucking far back. In the 80s, with folks falling into and between the cracks and talking about being right in the center of the news, but the king don't never give no interviews. And the reporters was lined up. The king was raising hell around here. And then the information just dried up and the king seemed to disappear. Gone so quickly you might have just an impression. Moved along so slickly, it was like an amnesia expression. Am I certain of my facts now? Of course. I know almost all there is to know about King Henry IV. What it left on the ghetto streets was an incorrect understanding about the ways he caught on and how rapidly he was expanding. The reason I felt black kids was headed for a fall was the day I read this poem painted in a bathroom stall. Fuck a in the butt and you could get it for show. Pass a dope needle around and there wasn't no cure. The kids believed if you wasn't gay and didn't shoot dope, you was home free. Take the day off and float. But what would always make the king seem so tough is that he could get in and take 5 years to show back up. And you can go scream at them until you get hoarse, but you don't understand. And about King Henry if there was only Public Enemy with really decent shit to say, and maybe Run DMC had it with Walk This Way 15 years ago or more. Hell, it wasn't even 10, which only goes to show how fast the king is moving in. He was no more than a whisper at gay after-hour spots. If there were no bloodless revolutions, why hadn't he fired a shot? Sunday mornings from the pulpit, he was blamed on promiscuity. More confusing newspaper bullshit only furthered the ambiguity. Preachers became obsessed and called him a message from above. The creature's game progressed since nobody knew who the fuck he was, completely taking over areas that had never seen royalty, but soon millions on 5 continents could all pledge their loyalty. The invisible monarch was steady doing his thing. He never heard folks once saying, "Hail to the king." But he's got powers you can't help but endorse, and the Africans call him King Henry IV. Now, those are not my words. I didn't add nothing in there or detract from it too much. That's Gil Scott-Heron out of Now and Then. And that's a poem that I ain't never heard before, much less bespoke. I did it today, and it was quite enlightening, to say the least, from the mind of Gil Scott-Heron. From the mind of Gil Scott-Heron. Now, all that goes to speak to what we're getting ready to deal with here. Because when Panfillo de Narvaez, when he showed up with Esteban and the rest of their crew in tow, yeah, he was looking to be crowned as a king. And matter of fact, he was looking to be crowned as the king of kings, of all kings, God himself. You see, because you know the character of a person when you get them in a situation where they can do literally anything. That's when you really know where they're coming from, when they can do anything and then they do it. So let's see what these people are really like. Black skin, bushy beard, feathered regalia with 2 greyhounds at his side. This is one way to depict Esteban. The survivors were promptly enslaved by the Indians as they entered Galveston Bay. Within a year, excuse me, let me move down here. I believe we start over here. My bad. Estevanico was best known of the hundreds of African slaves who accompanied the Spaniards on their exploration of the Americas, from Florida to Mexico, Colorado, and Arizona. Born in the village of Azemmouri, near the Moroccan coast, Estevanico was a servant of Andres Dorantes de Carranza, who joined the 600-man expedition of Panfillo de Narvaez to the New World, seeking land and gold. When the expedition reached Santo Domingo, 143 men deserted, just took off to the left. By the time they reached Florida, only 400 remained. Finding no gold there, the Spaniards worked their way west, passing Mobile Bay, New Orleans, and landing at Galveston, Texas, in the summer of 1528. Now, when they say New Orleans, there was no New Orleans, so they couldn't have passed it. So they're just saying where New Orleans is today. Death by starvation, shipwreck, and Indian arrows had reduced the group to only 80 men. The survivors were promptly enslaved by the Indians as they entered Galveston Bay. Within a year, only 4 were left, among them Estevanico. Those durable 4 discovered they could heal by laying on of hands, afflicted Indians by a touch, and they used their mysterious talents to secure their freedom. For nearly a decade, 10 years, they wandered among the Indians who showered gifts upon them and called them children of the sun. Finally, Estevanico and his companions reached the Sinola River near the Gulf of California, where they met with other Spanish explorers. They were taken before the Spanish viceroy in Culiacan, Mexico, Don Antonio de Mendoza, who listened to their almost unbelievable recital and wanted to send them northward in search of the legendary 7 cities of Cibola, or the 7 cities of gold. But the Spaniards declined. They said, hey, you know what? Hey, boss, peace out. We out of here. We had 143 that deserted when we first hit land. This is our time. We've been doing this already. They were not interested. The viceroy then leased the servant Estevanico from his master Dorantes and made him guide to a special party to locate the 7 cities of Cibola. Now, mind you, all this time, he had been the main translator, so he knew how to speak, how to communicate with any Native Americans that they came across. Retracing some of his earlier routes, Estevanico led the group up to the present-day Fairbank, Arizona. Each band of Indians they met along the way told them in increasingly vivid terms of the 7 cities farther north. Estevanico and his fellow explorers were positive they had located the cities when just outside of the village of Hawika, they were informed that there are 7 very large cities, all under one lord, with houses of stone. Estevanico left the party behind in the Sonora Valley. His instructions had been to send back by Indian runner crosses varying in size to indicate the relative importance of the things that he saw. Within 4 days, the runners appeared before the main party with a cross nearly 6 feet long. This was taken to mean that the 7 cities of gold had been located. And one of the friars in the main party immediately took off with the runners to join Estevanico. But 3 days before reaching the area where Estevanico was supposed to be, the friar learned that Estevanico had been killed by the Indians. A cloud of mystery surrounds the circumstances of his death. The fabled 7 cities of gold turned out to be only a Pueblo settlement of adobe structures. Today, no gold has been found. But a memory of Estevanico still lingers in the Indian legends of a Black Mexican who traveled among the Indians over 400 years ago. So beyond 1619, we're all the way back. He died, they said, approximately, no, they know when he died. He died in 1539. So nearly 100 years prior to 1619. So the 1619 project is an interesting project, but it's just that, it's a project. It's not necessarily the whole story. It's not necessarily the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It's merely a piece in a puzzle. A piece in a puzzle. And we have to think of it that way, because 400 years is nothing in the bucket in terms of millennial time, thousands of years, millions of years. 400 years doesn't amount to, but it ain't even an inch. It's about it. It ain't even. It's like a micron. It's a little bitty sliver of time. 400 years. So that's one of the. So that's where we're starting. We decided to start at with our introduction to all of these explorers, because we're going to do We're doing Esteban today. We're going to do York. We're going to do Jean-Baptiste Pont du Sablé. We're going to do him, founder of Chicago. We're going to do, a couple other ones. We got 3 more we can do before the end of this week. And I would like to do at least one woman before we get to the end, okay, of these explorers, so-called discoverers. It's hard for me to get those words out of my mouth to call anybody a discoverer because there were already people living here. I mean, if you in your house watching TV and somebody don't even knock at your door, just opens your door and walks up in the crib and says, "Hey, what's going on, y'all? Look here, I'm claiming this living room in the name of my king." Yeah, there'd be some really mad people in that living room because y'all are already there. So how can somebody come in from outside and discover the place you're already living in? That negates your humanity. That negates your humanity. It means you're nothing but a critter. You're nothing more than a bird or a bee or a worm in the sea, because no humans were actually there before these discoverers got there. They act like they're the first ones to ever reach there. Definitely not true. So we're getting things together over here. We're still working with our collection of donations. We've had some issues, but it looks like we're in the process of solving most of our issues with PayPal Giving Fund, so I can take them off my hit list because I had them on a list. Okay. But in the meanwhile, go to eBay, check out our new eBay store, Black Facts. I don't remember if I put another name behind it, but just type in Black Facts and then put a dash in eBay, and our new store should pop up. Okay, it's in development. We're working with it. There are going to be some changes to it. We don't have any products in it right this moment, but as soon as I can, I'm getting some products up in there. So what you'll be able to do is you will not order products there. You will make a donation there. You go there to make a donation, and you get to pick which premium gift you would like to go along with your donation. Now as we move along, right now where our main focus is going to be on books and imagery. Okay, like some of the images that we have here. Okay, boom. Okay, you could get something like relative for a very small donation. $5 at a time will do just fine. Okay, had another one over here, and as you can see, these are high resolution images that you'll receive in the form of a PDF that you can then take and print out on your own. All right, so you're paying for the image in a format that you can blow it up and have it reproduced, and then go ahead, it'll be suitable for framing. Okay, and so we're doing it that way because it cuts down on shipping. It means we don't have to pay the shipping costs, which saves you money because we'd want you to pay the shipping if you could. It takes away from the donation to the children. What are we using this money for? We got a contest coming up this at the end of this year, and it's a Black Facts Challenge. We're calling it the Black Facts Challenge 2020. Black Facts Challenge 2020. It's for all ages from 8 years old and up. The young people, we'll be asking them to send in some images that are, what's the word for it? Colorized. We're going to let them colorize it, just like when you make a comic book. There's one person that does the ink, there's somebody else that does the coloring. And so we did the ink. We're going to put the images up there, make a donation of $1, and that's your entry fee to the contest. You can enter as many times as you like with as many drawings as you would like, and we will send you the PDF for the inked drawing. You can only use our approved drawings. All of them are labeled at the bottom, so we'll know that they're ours. And we'll have all kinds of images up there. We're going to have LeBron and Kobe. We're going to have all kinds of images up there for the children to ink. So stay tuned. Don't be a loon, because we're going to be back real soon. tomorrow at noon and tonight at 9. Look for us then and you'll feel really fine. In the meanwhile, we hope y'all stay real divine. Peace out now. All right, and I see you over there too, Hector. Peace out, my brother.